Hey kids, today we are working with this 50 horsepower Mercury motor. It's a two-stroke motor. I'm not sure what year it is, probably 80s motor. She's in pretty nice shape. I did change that starter on it not too long ago for you guys. Now we got another issue on it. She is not holding the prime. You squeeze a primer bulb from the gas tank into the fuel filter, and from that fuel filter it should suck up from the motor, from the compression of the motor. It should have enough to pump itself in, and it doesn't. It will not hold that prime. So something's leaking air. Take a quick look at it. It's got two carburetors on this setup, and on those carburetors are diaphragms. You can buy these Quicksilver diaphragms right on eBay. I don't know the number. I won't be sending a link to it. Just look on eBay and type in your 50 horsepower diaphragm for Mercury and you'll find them. Alright, so we're going to get right to it. We're going to take this apart real quick. The starter's got to come out first. First step is we got to take these 4 bolts off, and we also have to unhook this wire to the side of the starter. So all this has to come off. When you want to get these out, what I normally do is take a pry bar and I lift in past here, and I lift that, push that out so I can get my sockets on it. So I'm going to do that right now. So I took those 4 bolts off and the wire. I set this wire right here to tuck it in and left the 2 wires together so I don't forget how they go. You do have to loosen up this motor mount here so you can pull this starter right out. So there, now you're out. Next, we're going to be taking off these 4 screws, and there is the first diaphragm. The second carburetor is down right underneath. You follow this gas line right down here, and we'll find that carburetor down in there. That'll be a second project. Okay, so we just slide this off nice and easy, and it's sandwiched all together. You're going to put it right, the gaskets and the diaphragms, just as you take them apart, so there's no mix-up. We'll unscrew this first. I'll show you how that comes apart. So there that goes. So this clean, the screen looks clean. We'll gently take this apart so we don't tear, and just inspect that diaphragm. There's marking right in the inside of it. That might be where it's compromised. Looking at the light, I don't really see any tears in this one, but we're going to change it. So you just snug those right back up so they're really snug. You don't have to strip them out. And then you put your screen cover back on. And it's really that simple. Easy, quick fix for the diaphragm. Like I said, I'm going to show you the old diaphragm here again. And I can't really see much to be concerned with. So it's probably the second carburetor on the bottom we got to do, and that one you got to do some surgery to get to because she's deep in there and surrounded, and I don't like to take everything off the motor unless I absolutely have to. Try to make it. So, like I say, just snug them up. We don't have to crank on them. And so these are the old the gaskets. You take them off in sequence. You put them back on the exact same way. So you can see this shape in here, but there's actually that shape in the in this diaphragm setup in here. So I think this one was okay. I don't really see a problem with it. So hopefully, if this doesn't cure, when I change the other one, I'm going to do the same thing, same procedure. If it doesn't cure it, we got a problem someplace around that filter. Something sucking air, okay? So we'll get to it. We'll diagnose it as we go. Hopefully, diaphragms fix it. Here we go. Okay, so what we actually have to do, there's 2 bolts on the bottom and there's an engine mount on the top. You have to take those out and lift this shroud up, and as you do it, I've already disconnected it, but you have the choke mechanism for the carburetors that you want to disconnect. And now this has to move out of the way. It's a pain right in the butt, but those wires can hold it right there against the body. And now your carburetor is down in here. You're going to need little nubby screwdrivers to fit down in there to take off those 4 screws. And you probably can get away with not having to mess with that screen, since this kit doesn't come with the new screen unless you've ordered the screens. That wouldn't be the problem anyhow unless it was plugged up. So let's get to it. We'll change that out. I'm not going to bore you with how. I'm just showing you where to go to it, but it's identical to this. Alright, so these are the second set, the lower carburetor. And that one, they both appear to be fine. So that worries me that we may have a problem with this fuel line, or right into here to this sediment or filter. It's a screen. So I have to do some further investigation, but what I want to do now is button it back up and try it and see if she holds before we go into any more surgery. Okay, just get those tight enough as you put it back together. The trickiest part is that choke mechanism in there. Now we got to put our wires back on and bolt this back on. I already slid this starter in place as I was putting everything together. We'll go from there. Okay, so it's not working. This right here is leaking when I squeeze it, so the air is coming from this this siphon. So what we got to do is unhook this gas line, and they just twist in and out on this setup here. You push in, twist it, and then I'm going to go unhook the other one. Right here on the side of the motor. Voila. I need to change this. Alright, so I already cut these disposable hose clamps off this one. This one should be it's a spare that I've had in storage. And so now we gotta undo these hose clamps. What we're going to do is switch this end onto here, and hopefully that one doesn't leak. I'll do the hose clamps first. Just like that. And hopefully they just pull right out. Oop. And we're getting some gas. You gotta be cautious so you don't make a mess all over your bench like I just did. We'll put this in a safe spot. Pause it. Okay, so now I took the hose clamps off that other hose, and hopefully, I don't know if they're gonna fit really. We'll see. Once we push these guys on. Snug fit. So as you push them on, you twist. Sort of like a drilling motion. There's that. So you follow your arrow. This means it's going to your motor. And the other one's going from the tank. So just pay attention to that. Make sure you put your ends on right. Can you see me? Twist as you go. Push and twist. Takes a little bit of effort, of course. But you won't be thinking about that as you're driving across the lake or the river. You wouldn't take this boat on the ocean, a little small. Although I did sell a boat years ago to a woman, 16 foot, and she ended up on the ocean with it. Crazy. So, we're going to have to use some aggressive tactics here. That's not going to work either. I'll hit pause, but you're going to have trouble getting that on too. This is a little pointy right here, so I got to come up with a better way to hold it. But the point is, you get that on there and then you plug it back in and hopefully she'll run. We'll see where we go. Alright, so we'll use that primer bulb. Feels like she's got good pushback. Alright, let's give it a try. It's always been a good running motor. This should be on the floor, but we're charging the battery up. We're doing all that good stuff. Gonna give her a good wash. Put her right out in the lake. Let her warm up. She's been sitting all winter. She'll go though. The gas is flowing. And that was our object. Alright, so we got her working steady. Problem solved.